Let me get this one going too. Oopsie, hold on a sec. Okay. Sorry. All right, there we go. Okay, welcome everyone. Here we are. It is Samhain or Halloween, as some know, or All Saints' Day, or All Souls' Day, 31st of October, 2025. What a year it's been. It's been going fast. We have more than 300 registered for this event, but typically a lot of people register from other parts of the world, Australia, Europe, and we do have at least two sisters here from Germany, but where it's late, so they don't always show up, but they get the recording. So we'll see. There might be more sisters entering. We're seeing some more hellos, so welcome again. Those of you, if it's your first time, a heartful welcome. And if you've been here many times, a heartful welcome. It's good to be here with you. I know many of you attended many of the Prayers for Humanity free events. I used to co-host monthly with my sister Priestess Koryanka. Some of you have trained with me. Some of you are in the Priestess community, the Priestess Sanctuary, and some of you may be new to me, or you've taken other classes. Either way, this is a container for us to bring our energies together in service to our own ascension and awakening, our spiritual awakening to this planet that is in such a profound transformation, to Earth Gaia herself, and all of our brothers and sisters who are maybe riding the waves of ascension and maybe really being challenged right now. All of it is happening. It's a very intense, but also a blessed time to be on the planet. So before we begin, a couple of things. Please do keep your mics muted. There starts to be an echo, and then it's hard for me to speak, and it reverbs sometimes on the recording, depending on what's in your background. So best to just have everyone keep your mics muted. What we're going to do, thank you all of those of you who've been introducing yourself in the chat. Those of you who've just come in, feel free to do so. Introduce yourself. Let us know where you're calling in from. And if you've ever been here with us before. So what we're going to do is we're starting with a song. Now, many of you know we used to do a lot of dancing, and that will happen again. But for today's theme, I've picked a song that is more meditative. And so this is an invitation for you to tune inward, because really I'm going to be presenting a lot of context and stuff, but the intention of this time of year and this particular ceremony is the inward turn. And I'll be sharing more about that in a bit. So let me just put here the name of this song. It's called A Call to Prayer by Estas Tone. It's only about 2 or 3 minutes long. So I want to invite you now to settle in, to get connected with your breath. Feel free to close your eyes. And it's less than 2 minutes. So really deepen into the feeling of this. Oh, sorry, I almost clicked the wrong one. Let me do this again. A call to prayer. Here it is. Might be a little longer than that. Let's see. It's 2 minutes and 18 seconds. I gotta go there. Again, connecting in with the breath, dropping in, coming into the heart.
Here and now, before earth and sky, we stand. We feel the blessing of your infinite love in our bones, in our blood, in our breath, in our hearts. We open our eyes to see beyond what we have seen before. We open our ears to hear what we could not hear before. Beyond limitation, beyond the beyond. We feel a new story emerging from ourselves and rippling out into our lucid bodies as waves of love remind us of who we really are. Dissolve us into what we have always meant to be. And the layers between us and who we are meant to be fade away. And suddenly we realize we are all that we dream we could be. To see without eyes, to walk without feet, and to fly without wings. This is my prayer for you.
Stay with the breath for a moment. We are dreaming a new dream. And we are in the tumult and change that comes before the new, the relinquishment of the old at a personal and a collective level. And we have come in these times, those of you who would be in a gathering such as this, to serve that, what we call the Great Awakening, the ascension, the new human, the new earth. So again, I want to thank you, each and all of you, for being here with me today, and those of you who will join us in the live stream. And more sisters are streaming in. So feel free to open your eyes now. I'm going to begin with a few temple keeping items, and then we'll dive in. So again, a request, please keep yourself muted for those who joined between the last time I said that and this time. And I just want to kind of walk you through what we're going to be doing here so that you know. You can expect this to be between 75 and 85-ish minutes, so more than an hour, less than an hour and a half. Although we did start a little late, so let's just say an hour and a half by the time we're done. Here's how it's going to go. I'll be sharing an intention, an opening statement, and going through some context on where we're at in this transformation of Earth, or what I'm referring to, and I'm not alone in this, the ascension acceleration. We'll be touching on choice points, key time frames, and challenges that we may be facing or expect to face. And from that, going into the heart. As you know, if you're here and you've registered, you know that our focus is the heart as the key to our ability to navigate these times, to phase lock, and I'll talk more about that later, phase lock into higher frequencies and higher, what some call a timeline, higher trajectories, your soul's highest intent, let's say, for this incarnation. And then I'm going to guide you. So after I kind of tease out all of these points and share with you the bigger framework, I'll guide us through a heart activation process. And I say I, but I want to be clear here that I am a conduit for this. Now I study, I practice these things, But when it's actually in process, it's a live transmission. It's a frequency transmission, as well as the words I say are more guided. It's not like I'm reading from a script. Once we go, in fact, I don't really read from a script. I do have notes here in front of me, but once we go into the meditation, it is our journey together, let's say. And it is my prayer, as some of you who've worked with me for a while, that before each gathering, I say, Holy Mother, Spirit Sophia, let me be a conduit through which the highest guidance comes and an instrument of your loving will. And that is part of my service and my ascension path, if you will. And I welcome you all to join me in that because we all came with an intention and a service and a desire to serve. And that will look unique to each of us based on our skills, abilities, talents, soul plan, etc. Okay, so after we go through that heart activation and take a few moments to kind of come back into the room, then with your permission, I'd like to share about, I'd like about 10 minutes to share something I'm very excited about. It's actually, there's maybe a couple things, but one thing in particular, which if you resonate with what we journey through here, you may want to explore. So I'll be asking for your permission at that point. And then to finish up, we're going to look at a few key points and things to keep in heart for 2026 and 2027. Now, as that progresses, as we move into that time, more information, more guidance, more activations come, but just kind of some hearts up, heads up about some things. And this is not astrological in nature. There's one astro point I'll talk about, but it's really more the overall energetics that we'll be looking at. And from that, we will wrap up. So, for those of you who've just joined, again, welcome, welcome, sisters. Feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. However, please do keep your mics muted. Okay. I also want to say hi to Barbara and Chris and Mary and Ruthie and Connie. Welcome, welcome. We have 3 pages now here, so I can't see all of you. And I'd love to scroll and look at all of you. And I have a lot I want to share, so we're gonna drop in now. So I invite you to take a breath and just come into present moment awareness. Now, for me, that is dropping into the heart, but just notice where that is for you. Allow yourself to feel safe to be in your body, present, breathing. I'm going to share the intention, and you may have a bit of a different intention. That's okay, but this is my general intention for our Samhain gathering here, the activation of the heart. To tend the inner flame of divinity through the power of your heart, the bond of sisterhood, and our shared devotion to Earth's awakening. Okay, so we are here to honor the turning of the wheel of the year. This is for any of you who have studied Wicca, and you may know that's my roots are in Wicca some 41 years ago now. I can't believe it. Always easy to track because it's when my son was born. So this is an energetic portal, if you will. So we have the solstices, the equinoxes, and then we have the 4 quarter days. And so we are at one of those today. It's called Samhain in the ancient Celtic language. It looks like Samhain. It is the entry point, the gateway into what we call the 3 months of darkness here in the Northern Hemisphere. And for our Southern Hemisphere sisters, we welcome you, of course, to you're entering your springtime. But most of us are, here in the North, the majority of the human population, and certainly me and many of us here. So that's where we're focused right now. So what I want to do is I want to read what I reflected on this morning in my journal and about this particular day to kind of open up this portal before we move into the larger energetics of this ascension journey we're on, and of course the heart activation, the heart, the working with the heart as the stargate, the portal of ascension. Okay. Samhain, the inward turn, the final harvest of the year, the Day of the Dead, the time of thinned veils, the time to prepare for the long, dark nights of winter here in the Northern Hemisphere. Hearth fires, coziness, and bundling up to the weather elements. 38 years or so ago, it could have been 39, I co-led my first public Samhain ceremony in the basement of a stone church in New Haven, Connecticut. We took women on an underworld journey through the veils and into their own death realm. That was the place for them to rest in the darkness, the stillness, and the void before rebirth into the light. Today, we are here, and my intention is to facilitate a journey not into darkness, but into our hearts. Yes, the seasons of Gaia will continue, but in the greater cycles of time, we now move not toward darkness, but into the light of ascending consciousness. So really take a moment and feel that. Feel that, yes, in the wheel of the year, the solar wheel, each year we come to this point where we are journeying into darkness for a spell. But in the greater cycles of time, we are journeying out of darkness into an ascended earth realm. Okay. So from now until winter solstice, we turn inward to fortify our hearts and strengthen our resolve to be the light in dark places. To quote Galadriel from Lord of the Rings, to be a light in dark places for ourselves, for our sisters and brothers, and for Earth Gaia. For the next 3 months, here in the north, the days are short as the sun travels low across the southern sky until Candlemas, which is the next quarter day. So after this, our next Wheel of the Year holiday is winter solstice. That's when the sun god is rebirthed and the days start to get longer. But there's still a period of time where it's, long, cold nights, dark nights, and we don't start noticing the shift till around February 2nd, which is Candlemas. And that's when the tiniest little sprouts under the snow begin to try and push out of their seeds. So it's the beginning of the earliest inklings of spring, just as right now was considered by our ancestors the final harvest, when the animals were harvested for the winter months and some of the last fruits to be stored, to be dried, to be smoked, that kind of thing, to last through the winter. Okay, so where was I? Until Candlemas on February 2nd, when the shift to longer days is more noticeable. So the question is, how will we use this opportunity, this next 3-month window, this spell of darkness, dark time, to fortify our light, to cultivate creativity, and to keep our inner hearth fires burning? So that's a question that's, it's a rhetorical question or a question for you to consider. All across the Western world, at least on this day, priestesses gather to honor this inward turn in the certainty of the cycles of life and of our renewal. So even in the solar year, we know that spring will come. So let us join our hearts in recognition of the cycles of Gaia, the cycles of the feminine, and the inward turn to the eternal, supernal light of our divinity. So again, just take a breath. Let me have a peek, see if anyone else is coming in. All right. So the opportunity to fortify our light in service to the organic ascension of Earth, to our own ascension, and to serve life itself. This is how we can use this time. And I'm going to talk more about that. I'm going to weave that a little bit more in this next segment. So, ascension acceleration. Now, for those of you who are very familiar with the term ascension, please, I beg your patience right now because I would like to just clarify a few points, just in case we have any sisters here right now on the call or later who watch, who maybe they're very new and they know something's going on. What's going on? So I want to clarify just a few points here. So we have been in an acceleration of change that is not yet slowing down. And it's very obvious. You know, you look at the world and you're like, this isn't actually the planet of the culture, the world, the principles, the stuff that I thought it was going to be. Everything's changing. There's upheaval. There's a tremendous amount of conflict in the 3D field of, you know, the mainstream lived Earth experience. And simultaneously, there's all this like awakening. I was reflecting on this the other day. I was looking at Instagram, which I'm kind of trying to work out to get more familiar with, even though I've had it for a long time. And how many like video memes there are on things like it's one person and one is pretending to be the human soul that's looking at their soul contract for this incarnation, and they're talking to their higher self and they're going, wait a minute, did I agree to this? Or these kind of funny spiritual memes like, when my journey began in 1984, this kind of consciousness was not around. There were some goddess books and some tarot cards, but this awakening, this ascension, this consciousness, and you see it in all walks of life, the people who are waking up simultaneously, you also see the conflict and the unresolved and the continuation of polarization. So I want to describe ascension as I'm using it so that we're on the same page. On the what I would call the organic timeline, so not an AI or cyber-driven advance your consciousness by becoming part cybernetic or cyber robot or any of that stuff. I'm talking about the organic ascension of Earth. Ascension is like, or organic timeline, the ascension is like a consciousness realignment with the divine. We wake up. It's when our soul can fully embody because we wake up to the greater recognition of our unity with all of life. So it's a shift in perception, a pretty much a total shift in perception in the recognition of our oneness. So that old saying of our dear brother Jesus, who is such a teacher of ascension in these times, my Course in Miracles sisters will know that, and some of you as well. Others of you have studied some of the Yeshua materials. That which you do to the least of my brethren, you do unto me. He was literally meaning that. When we attack others, we are literally attacking ourselves because beyond the realm of form here, we're one. We are one. I am one with my Creator. We are one in love. Love as a foundational principle. Love as the divine frequency of consciousness itself, or source itself, or love light intelligence. So ascension happens for those who are willing. This is not a judgment of those who may not experience in this incarnation at this time an ascension, a great awakening, a great experience of a kind of liberation from the old 3D density. We are all in different parts of our soul's evolutionary journey. So, you know, it's just like when you go to school, you grow, right? And you learn. And if you're in fourth grade, we would hope that 12th graders don't come up to a fourth grader and say, you don't even know algebra yet? What kind of a loser are you? You know, it doesn't work that way. We are all equal in the divine. We are all equal. And we all have chosen many times to have different kinds of incarnations to learn different things. So there's no judgment in that sense. But this does not mean that everybody gets a free pass, because we have to want ascension, and we have to choose again and again to surrender all that is of a lower frequency: judgment, hate, attack, fear, self-loathing, belief in egoic identity, valuing ourselves based on our looks or our money or our size or this or that. Those constructs are part of this dream realm we're in, this dream of separation. So, to quote my dear friend Susanna Kennedy, who has been an ascension guide for many, many years, she says ascension is not a reward for moral superiority or belief. It's a physiological, energetic, and spiritual realignment with the harmonic field of source. So just feel into that. It's a frequency shift. And a frequency shift cannot happen if we are dragging around, excuse my French here, but it's a wonderful illustration from a wonderful Buddhist monk. If we are dragging around a truckload of turds, if we are dragging around victim stories, hatred, judgment, unresolved subterranean negativity, all of that, it lowers frequency. Or it's kind of like, if you have a bunch of you got a hot air balloon and you got all those sandbags and you won't let them go. In order for us to rise up, again, not to be above others, but it's a frequency rise, we have to intend it, choose it, lean into where we are not resolved in our forgiveness, in our love, in our compassion, in our attachments, all of that. So, for those who are willing, ascension happens through a recalibration of our nervous system. There's physiological components to this. We can't get into all of that today, but there's physiological components because of the amount of light that's coming in. And I'll talk about that in a moment. So, recalibration of the nervous system and consciousness frequency within the body. Okay, so let me just take a breath here. We know there are massive shifts in Earth's magnetics. So we know there's been all of this plasmic solar activity, solar maximum. Well, Father Sun and Mother Earth, Solaris and Gaia, if you will, or whatever names you want to call them, they're in a dance together. They are in relationship, just as we are in relationship with not only all the planets in our solar system, but all of this realm. Yes, it's a dream realm, but there's influence and energetics and energetic flow. And we're moving as a solar system through something that scientists call the photon belt, which are basically these massive plasmic fields. It's activating Father Sun, which activates Mother Earth, and it activates us. We're literally being bathed in high frequency, and it's been as our solar system gradually has been entering this plasma field or photon belt over decades, we're getting more and more light and more awakening. And thus, and we're not going to go down this rabbit hole, but let's just be clear, there are those who have benefited greatly from us being asleep, from us being divided. There is a absolute truth to divide and conquer. There are those who benefit. Who exactly they are, that's a topic for another time. But obviously, they don't particularly want humanity to all wake up and say, hey, wait a minute, I'm a sovereign divine being, and I'm a child of God. I don't answer to the rules of men, I answer to the divine. And there are enough people who are not in a frequency match for that chaos obviously can ensue as long as people are in hierarchical scarcity, judgment, attack, fear, unclarified minds. Society needs certain structures, but beyond those certain structures, there's actually strings being pulled to keep people in extreme hate, extreme fear, extreme survival mode, and extreme polarization. So, as we move through this next few years, and as we have been moving through this, I mean, it became obvious in 2020, but it's getting more and more, the intensity is increasing. There's going to be more noise, more drama, and more stuff that we might want to pay attention to. and distractions, uh, things that call us to focus on the outside rather than the inside. So that keep that in heart, and I'm going to touch on that at the very end. We'll unpack that bit a little bit more. But 2025 has been a year of clearing, redirection, dismantling, and prep for up leveling. So I would love to hear. You can put in the chat for your sisters to see as well. Have you found 2025 to be a year where you've come up against a redirection in some area of your life, a major unresolved ick that you've had to face, a closure of some kind that's significant, a health issue, a relationship issue, career issue, something, financial issue that you were kind of chugging along, and all of a sudden 2025 came, and it's like, oh, oh, oh boy, I'm shifting. I know that's been the case for me and many of the sisters I've spoken with. So I'd be interested to know if anyone else has experienced that in what it is, particularly for what we could call the light workers, the star seeds, the priestesses. We are doing those deep clearing purges. And so some of you may have felt like, are you kidding me? I'm still working on my shadow, really? Or this again, really? These kinds of things. But it's because we are the light leaders. It's because we are the vanguard. We are at the front. Oh, I got the chills. So the guides are here. They want me to speak about this, to remind you that you are the vanguard for your soul group, for your family, for your lineage, for your own soul's trajectory. We are literally like at the leading edge now. Now there's even within that, there's variations because each of us has our path. Each of us has our soul herstory, if you will, of themes and karmic knots, issues we want to work out. But this has been a year of deep clearing and purging. And if you've been leaning into it, you should be finding some clarity or redirection starting to come through at this time. So I just want to see. Karen says, like I'm in a liquid state in a cocoon this year. Amanda says, yes, almost all of these things. It's definitely a pivotal year. Christy says, I'm back in the chrysalis. Yeah, and absolutely. Judy says, yes, very much so. Spiritual, career, and relationship. Even had a setback to where I couldn't move to the state I wanted to move to. Paula, yes, 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 like a train off tracks. Yeah, and there's many more here. Thank you, all of you. Karen is saying it too. Yes to all of it. Christina, many started in 2019. Hey, Mary Pat, I just saw your message in there. Welcome, and welcome, Vivian. Total meltdown to the old. Yes, that's a beautiful way to say it, Vivian. Total meltdown to the old. Karuna says, I have yet to experience any jugging alone. It's been a continuous, very difficult life. However, this year I've had a couple of easy openings. Okay, that's great to know, Karuna, because if you've been, slogging through it for a lot, you took on a lot in this incarnation to clear because you're like, I feel like a lot of us before this incarnation were like, what? This next incarnation is ascension? Oh my gosh. All right. All right. What do I have to do? All right. Oh my gosh, look at that list. And you're looking at your list with your soul agreement. You're like, really? I'm going to do this? Okay. So, Karuna, that might have been for you. So, blessed be that you have some easing and openings that because you've been leaning into it. Jamie Lee says, yes, advanced core wound up leveling. Yes, advanced core wound up leveling. Aho, sister speaks for me. That is it. So graduation time. Yeah, we are purging. We are at the leading edge. So if this has been what's going on for you, you are not alone and you know it now. And there are many more of us. I also connect with sister priestess leaders, those who are in roles like me, where we're like, we can't pussyfoot around. We have to clear if we are to serve. And if we want to serve at the next level, and some of you here are those sisters as well, you know what it takes, right? I can't fake it anymore. I can't create from mind. I have to wait until I'm receiving the download, and the download won't come if I'm busy in my old energies of, whatever it is, fill in the blank, fear, anger, resentment, blah, 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 afraid to take the next step and what have you. So, Yeah, so I'm gonna go. I want to move on now to the next thing. Distractions, timelines, and frequency phase locks. Okay. As I mentioned, there are those who will have a lot to lose if we wake up and become independent and stop feeding the unloving systems and frequencies of Earth. And so they have all the money and control of the media, and they know and know exactly how to manipulate masses. And so they're at subtle and gross, ways. So many of us here, we can look and we can see that's, agenda-based, divide and conquer things. But there are subtle things too. One of them is just distraction, just sheer distraction and overstimulation. There's so many things to look at. How many times do you catch yourself scrolling? You just scroll, 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 scroll. What are your disciplines and what are your choices around your energy? So this is important. That the distraction is a way to keep us in frequency phase lock to lower timelines. We might have done a lot of inner work, but if we're or we may feel like, what, I live, like, for me, I live in the forest. I don't have to navigate a lot of nonsense on a daily basis. I don't have conflict in my face, really. I have some personal stuff, but for the most part, I live a very peaceful life, and my husband and I get along, so we have a peaceful relationship. And but distraction is always there. At any time, day or night, 24/7. I can look at YouTube, I can look at Instagram, I could, whatever. I know there's lots of other social media, Facebook. I have to choose. I have to choose. And it's, in 2020, when all this stuff changed, I was really in that a lot. And many of us were, because we're like, what is going on? But now, okay, once we know, it's like, all right, what am I putting my attention on? Am I being creative? Am I just being bored so that I open up space for creativity and inspiration to drop in? Am I being connected with nature? Am I nourishing myself, my food with food? Am I hanging around with people I want to hang out with? Am I saying yes only to things I want to say yes to and no to only things I want to say no to? This is the choice point time for when we are phase locking in our timeline. Because it's not just, in a one way, yes, the bad is going to get worse and the good is going to get better. But there are many, it's like, it's not just a either or. There are frequencies we are aligning to that will define our experience. That's true anyway. But now it's kind of like we don't have as much fudge room anymore. So one of the questions I've been saying and asking for years, you might have seen them on some of my videos, what are you thinking when you don't think you're thinking? Paying attention to our thoughts, and I know many of us here do that, is super important right now because it's very easy to go down rabbit holes of old memories or, the firing and the wiring of the neural pathways. Remember, that's one of the things that the light is changing for us. So if we consistently keep feeding the old neural pathways, like, whenever I look at this cup, I think of my ex-husband and how he done me wrong and that time that this and that. We want to change those neural pathways, which means becoming, really aware of our thoughts, being sovereign in our minds. And another thing I wanted to share here, this is from a mentor of mine, a mentor and employer from long ago. Complaining makes you a crap magnet. So, complaining, sometimes we have genuinely, and many of us you've already said, tough year. There have been things we've had to look at. There's been pain we've had to go through. There's been grief we've had to process. There's been fear that we've had to face. Health things, relationship endings, stuff like that. But that's not the same thing as a habit of complaining. And this is very important. I really want you to feel into this if you're one of the people that you tend to look at or sort for the danger. Because if you're always sorting for danger, it can become a self-fulfilling prophecy of complaints. And complaining makes us crap magnets. And again, with this energetic of the light flowing in, it's magnifying what you're doing with your energy. So it's very, very important that we become aware of our choice points and sovereign and reclaim sovereignty of our minds from distractions to complaining to, what we do with our time, all of that. Another point, I've got a couple more things here, then we're going to start to go into the heart. Uh, Looking outside the self for answers. And again, we mostly know this, and this really is the segue into the heart. Looking outside the self is not the answer. So when we look outside the self for Danger Will Robinson, some of the younger people here might know that's a quote from Lost in Space. I was raised on TV. So when I was a little kid, danger outside, if we're constantly sorting for danger, looking at the news, looking at the next big thing to fuss and worry about, then we are looking outside for what do I need to do in order to keep myself safe. And this is a a tricky edge to walk. But keep in heart that there is an agenda that's very well crafted, very well studied. MK Ultra mind control, mass consciousness control that wants you to keep looking at the news, the news feed, the scroll, the doom scrolling to see what the F is going on next. And oh my God, the next thing to be worried about. Now, we're all in different places on our spiritual journey, but those of us who would come to something like this, as I said, we are the vanguard, we are on the leading edge, we came to be light leaders. When we really, really understand that this is a dream we are creating, you are the script writer, the director, the producer, and the star of your movie. And that your higher self, your oversoul, your Christed consciousness can exit this matrix through going vertical instead of worrying about the horizontal plane. Then you go inward. You go inward to get the answers within instead of constantly going, what's the danger out there? What's the tiger at the entrance of the cave this week? Because I can tell you for sure that that stuff is going to continue. And they've got it in every arena, including the infiltration of the lightworker community by all kinds of things, from flat earth theory to what's the next danger thing, and this, that, and the other, and the conflict and the disclosure and all of the nuance. And it's like being in the weeds of stuff when all the answers are here. All the answers are here. So again, we are at a time where there is a dismantling of the old in order to allow room for the upleveling. And that has to start here. We have to dismantle all of the behaviors that have us looking outside ourselves for demons or saviors. Saviors is often what we see in the lightworker community. The next guru, the next savior, the next, channeler. And, I teach, I facilitate ascension, or guide ascension principles. I'm a priestess and I channel. But I am very clear that while that is my service, I am not a guru to be followed. That time is over. You are the guru. You are the wisdom keeper. You are the embodied sacred holy woman who came here to awaken yourself that your light may serve others. So this is our time to turn inward and to find the answers from within. Do we sometimes use guideposts out there or see a little bit what's going on? Yeah. But monitoring, being heartful and mindful of our frequency. Am I starting to go down into the hand wringing, or am I starting to feel so helpless? Oh, somebody, please help me. Then, oh, I'm giving away my power again. Let me come back. Let me come back. So one of the great teachings that I have received that I have been opening into for a long time, but really dropped in clearly for me with the ascension guide I work with, Sandra Walter. She's, I would say, my guide and teacher for my next level that I may serve all of you, is the reminder that we have been, we have lived in cultures where we see divinity as above us and coming down through us. And sometimes we can feel like I feel my guides up, kind of up back here, depending on who they are. But the actual access point to your divinity is through this heart. So now we're shifting into that. So I want to invite everyone to just take a breath and take a moment because that was a lot of information. And Christina says that's why they created a television. That's right. And then Gina says, Dawn, your recent prayer of choice is profound and a wonderful compilation of how to help us focus on ascension. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I shared that with the women who attended Divine Mother Codes, and it's in our priestess community, which I'll talk more about later. Okay, so here we go. The solution is the heart, the genuine connection. So I want to talk about the heart as a stargate. So, if some of you have seen that movie Stargate, it's this kind of like what's behind me, although behind me is an actual heart. So actually, the picture works quite well. The heart as Stargate. Um, the heart as Stargate. We have a muscle that's a heart, and we have a chakra that's a heart. And we also have an energetic portal that's a teeny tiny point of light that we can open up to allow our God light to flow through, what I like to call our God light, our divinity. So, as you know, these physical bodies, I like to call them mind body vehicles. Some people call them meat suits. I find that a little unaesthetic, but these bodies are animated by our consciousness, which is divine and eternal, and a child of God, if you will, or one with that, my creator. I am one with my creator. And so that means we have access to that. We are not, the old religions, particularly the Judeo-Christian religions are God is out there. Oh God, please help me. Oh God, why is my life like this? Oh God, bless my favorite football team or whatever, right? So God is not out there. God is in here. We are that. Now, our personalities are not that. Me, Dawn Del Vecchio, 5'3", and brown hair, etc. That's the avatar, right? That's the avatar persona who is walking through an incarnation during an ascension cycle, seeking to get as far along on my ascension path as possible. You are who you are with all of your characteristics and the history and the story of this incarnation and your soul's journey, your soul's challenges, your soul's gifts and blessings. Beyond that, within that, encompassing that is your divinity, your mighty I am, your eternalness in the oneness that is Mother, Father, God. And the heart as energetic star point, as 0 point that we open as a stargate, is the access to that. It is the place of ultimate stillness, ultimate peace, and ultimate unity. It is the access to your own divinity through the center, what I like to call the center of the center of the center of the center of your being. Not your physical being, but your energetic being. So when you think about it, if you've ever tried to communicate with someone in a foreign language and you didn't know their language and you wanted to tell them your name, where would you point? Where do you point? You point to your heart. You don't say, my name is Dawn. My name is Dawn. You point to your heart. There's a reason for that because we feel it when we go deep within. We feel that we are within this. So what I want to walk you through now, actually not walk you through, I'm going to drop in and guide us through this opening of the stargate of the heart for divine access. And then we're going to bathe the layers of the body in our godlight, in divinity, in the sparkly light. And we'll see, I may be calling in higher self, Christed self, I am. Let's see how, again, that's often what I do when I do it myself. So we'll see how it goes. So I want a couple of other like little guideposts here. So I'll tell you how and where I feel this, but you have to feel in for yourself. The 0 point, which is the place inside that stargate or where we open the stargate, is in the high heart area. I feel it very close to my back. I feel it like in right in front of the spine, but you might feel it in a different place. And the way it appears to me, for what it's worth for you, and it doesn't have to look this way or feel this way, is like this tiny, tiny, tiny little black circle with this most extraordinarily bright, shiny light, just a pinpoint of light. And then I feel into that, I drop in and I hold in that space for a silent moment or two, or sometimes for a while. But then what we're going to do today is we're going to open that stargate because that tiny bit of light, that's your God light. That's you as divinity. That's our Mother, Father, God expressing through you. And so what we're going to do is we're going to open that stargate. And when you open a stargate, you want to, when you're opening, you go clockwise. So you can do like this. This is one way to do it to get until you get comfortable. Almost like you're holding your heart and you bring your hand and you're going to go forward to your right shoulder, which might look like the left shoulder to you, but that's my right shoulder, to the back, to the left. And you just circle, circle, and see and sense and know that this portal is opening. And of course, as it opens, what happens? All this light pours through. And so then I will guide you into this bathing of the layers of the body. Okay, feel ready? All right. Go ahead and close your eyes. Take a moment, take a breath. I'm going to take a little sip of my throat coating licorice root tea. Okay. Now bring your awareness, if it's up in the head where there's thoughts, let it just drop down into the heart space. That whole area, heart, high heart, just drop down. Take a breath in as if you're breathing into the heart. And as you exhale, allow any residual thoughts, distractions, energetics just to release, giving yourself permission to come fully present now. Good. One more breath into the heart. And releasing, going deeper, deeper into the heart. And bring your awareness deep, deep within the center of the center of the center. We're going to that place of complete stillness, the place between expansion and contraction, the place between form and formlessness, place of silence and eternity. And breathe and rest, letting the silence expand. And if you find your mind wandering, that's okay. Just come back into the silent 0 point. That tiny spark, the eternity in this now. Beautiful. Now we're going to begin to open that heart stargate. So if you would like to use your hands, you can do so, or you can just visualize. Just opening, slowly begin to open energetically in a clockwise direction, opening the stargate of the heart. And as you do, feeling the light of divinity pouring forth, allowing it to flow through all parts of your physical body, saturating your physical form in divine love light intelligence, your holy, holy God light. blessing every organ, every cell, all the mitochondria, your bones, your blood, all the tissues. As that stargate opens, flowing light, illuminating and lighting up your cells, lighting up your DNA, providing new information to the body-mind vehicle for healing, for well-being, for illumination, easefulness, and brilliance. Beautiful. And as you feel your physical form saturated in this beautiful light, let that light expand now into the auric field, the template where memory is stored. This is a wonderful place to bring light to heal physical ailments in the body that are stubbornly patterned in. So if there's any particular areas of the body that you would like to bring more light to, just place your awareness there. Allowing the auric field to be filled and bathed in this beautiful divine light, the light of God, the light of Great Mother, the light of your holy, holy self. Beautiful. And now expanding that light further into the emotional layer of the body, where so much old stuff can be stored from ancestors, from lineage, from incarnations, and from this earth walk. So allow that light to gently, gently bathe and dissolve all unresourced feelings, emotions, old patterns, default settings that keep us from our true brilliance. Just gently and easefully dissolving and releasing emotions and feelings that no longer serve, thanking them, releasing them into the light of divine love. And then expanding that light out further into the mental layer of your body. Again, same thing, allowing the light to dissolve thoughts, patterns, habits, old focuses, unresourced, unsupportive thinking, mental machinations. Just easefully and gracefully, all that are ready to be released, released into the light of divine love. Bathing your mental body in the grace of God. Freeing yourself of those old thoughts, mental patternings that you know you're ready to let go of. Just feel the ease of that, the allowance of release. And now we'll move into the astral layer of the body. This is the part of you that journeys in dreams. And sometimes, or in, out of body experiences. And sometimes when we've had bad dreams or maybe spent time or visited lower astral realms, we get little hitchhikers, little glommers on. So we're going to allow this beautiful light to just bathe and upgrade and release any hangers on. This could also be old lovers or old ties, energetic ties with people, karmic connections that you are ready to release. Releasing them in love, in light, clearing your own auric field as the sovereign of your own experience. Allowing divine light to clear, cleanse, purify, upgrade all of these layers the physical, the auric field, the emotional, the mental, the astral. And then expanding out now into the etheric, that interface with the outer world, very gossamer, very light, just allowing your own internal divine love light intelligence, your divinity, to just light up that expanded, light-filled, etheric layer. Beautiful. Just feel that. Take a moment to feel the light pouring forth from your heart into all these layers. Feel how you are more cleansed, up-leveled, liberated, purified, easeful, lit up with these frequencies, this love divine bathing you on all levels. Now I'm going to do a series of calling forth. I'm going to call forth higher self, Christ itself, and I am presence. And so you can feel this in for yourself as well. The higher self is the part of you that made your life plan, that can see from the eagle's perch the greater trajectory of where you're going. And when we make decisions with the higher self in charge, we are much more likely to make good decisions based on our soul's, we could say, goals or objectives or intention. So let us call forth now the higher self. Higher self, come, come, come. See through my eyes, hear through my ears, feel through my senses and my feelings. Choose in every now moment for me the path of my highest intent at the soul level. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the higher self. And take a moment to allow your higher self to kind of seat in. This is a practice you can do every day. Invite the higher self. Higher self, what choice, what decision should I make here? Higher self, you be in charge. This is great for small decisions and large ones alike, allowing the higher self to be the perspective, the eyes through which you look upon for each decision. Beautiful. And now we're going to call in the Christed self. The Christed self is the aspect of you that remembers your unity with the divine. It is the awakened self. Remember, Jesus was a man. The Christ was what he became, the Christed. And there have been many Christed masters in different cultures. They have different names for them. The ascended ones, the ascended masters. Let us call forth now our Christed self. And you may feel this as a pouring forth from the heart, golden crystalline light into the field around you. Again, bathing all those layers from physical all the way out to etheric. Christ light, come, 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 bathe me in the golden crystalline diamond light of the human that remembers her God self. Come, be you in charge, and I would follow, sure in the knowing that my Christ light will lead me home. Allow yourself to be bathed in this beautiful, glistening light. Let it light up your cells, light up your DNA, and let it begin to awaken or stir further awake your crystalline strands of DNA, your etheric DNA that is full of information that allows you to awaken to love's presence. Feel that Christed light all through your being. Feel the way we share it in this gathering all around the world. And feel how it's possible to invoke this high level, this deep level of consciousness that chooses based on love. Open that heart further. Let that light pour through, expanding into the field all the way around you. Let that energy expand in all directions, 12 feet. See it, know it, allow it. For those of you who've trained with me on the toroidal field or you've trained elsewhere, go ahead and let this golden light mix and blend with your torus as you expand your heart and torus field out 12 feet in all directions. Feeling the way, the 0 point, the center of the center. Your heart stargate is the center of this light-filled, luminous, expanded field of love that you are. Beautiful. Okay, one more. We're going to call in now the I am, the holy I am. The I am is the unification with divinity, with all that is, the oneness in the many, and the many in the one. The drop of water in the ocean and the ocean in the drop of water, I am. Calling forth my mighty I am. Come, come, see through my eyes, hear through my ears, feel through my senses. Be you in charge, and I will follow. I am light. I am grace. And you can repeat these if you'd like. I am gratitude. I am divine love light intelligence. I am blessed. I am eternal. I am the one self united with my Creator. And feel this, allow this, let yourself rest in this great heart of the all that is, the great mother, the eternal. Feel our oneness. Feel your expanded state. And from this expanded state, immersed, expanded, present in love, take a moment to bless a loved one. We'll tie this back in with Samhain. Bless a loved one who has already completed their life journey and is now experiencing another journey elsewhere. And you can choose more than one if you'd like. So I bless my grandparents and some of my dear, dear sister priestesses who have passed from this realm. Just offer a blessing, because in this state, in this field of unity, they are not gone. They're just not carrying a body at the moment. And now let us extend our blessings and gratitude to the masters who have guided our way, called us into awakening, the great mother goddesses with whom many of us work, the ascended masters, the beloved ones who hold a strong field high in the Himalayas, coming and going from form as they so choose, and all those who have left their seeds of wisdom on this earth for this time now. Let us offer a prayer of gratitude, blessings, and unity, that our consciousness unify with them, that we may choose to continue to remove, release obstructions to our light and be the light we wish to see in the world. So hold this field now. We're going to start to come back into the room, but you can hold this field. It may feel more comfortable for you to let your heart feel to come closer to you. But just know that at any time you can expand it out again and stay as present in this energetic as possible. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Let's just take a moment to really be sure we're in the body so you can tap on your thighs, you can tap on your arms a little bit, tap the back and sides of the head, on the chest, belly. If you're sitting cross-legged, you could tap the bottoms of your feet or lift them up. That's a good way to just come right back in. Okay. So I would love to hear from any of you if you have any experience. And I also realize that, ooh, you may not yet want to be typing in. So just knowing that you can also share, you can reply to any of those emails, reminder emails, and let me know what your experience was as well. Okay, let me take another sip here. So if you loved that, or if you found that to be something that really you'd like more of, what I'm going to share next is for you. So I would like to again go back to a request for about 10 minutes to share with you something that I have to offer. Can I get a few thumbs up either in the screen or on the thingy there? I'm actually going to scroll so I can see some, a lot of you on the other pages, you don't. Oh yeah, hearts, that's right. You could do, what do you call that? Emojis. Oh, there's a whole nother part of the page I didn't see here. Hi, Whitney. There's a bunch of people here I didn't see. Welcome. Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, now, thank you for all the hearts, yay. I appreciate your permission to do this. So I want to share with you what's happening in our private priestess community. So many of you here are in or have been in what used to be called the Return of the Priestess community, and it's a private community off of social media. It cannot be tracked or traced or monitored for your metrics to sell to you. And it's a place where we gather to support each other and to do what I call lifting as we rise. So over the years, I started this in, I think it was September 2021, autumn 2021. So it's been 4 years now. I've built that and work with that. And my dear Lori Appleby here, who has really been the monitor and the mama hen and the sacred service priestess of that community, have really done our best to make it a place that is for nourishment for women on an awakening path. So priestesses who are called to really recognize that we are in an ascension. We're no longer doing, let's say, just Wicca stuff, for example, that we are really here to awaken ourselves in consciousness. And so it really felt like that community, the name didn't speak to it anymore. And I was telling my husband that the other day, and he goes, yeah, because you're already here. That whole idea of return of the priestess. Yeah, we're here now. So I've renamed it and really brought a lot more to that container. So the name now is called the Priestess Sanctuary, and it's a temple for awakening women of New Earth. Excuse me. So I want to share the link, the information link in the thing here, and I'm going to tell you more about it too. So for those of you who have not ever been in that community, this is a temple space for connection, for clarity, for spiritual strength, and support from other sisters. And what I love to say, my saying since I was a freshman in college, lifting as we rise. So it's a community for unity. But more than a community, it's a sanctuary and a temple of sisterhood aligned with the frequencies of New Earth, because I'm the, I don't like the word high priestess in that it's kind of hierarchical, but I'm the mother hen, so to speak, the mother hen priestess of it. So I bring to this space the nurturance at a frequency level and at a sharing level that's related to our role as priestess leaders, as divine feminine awakening women, emissaries of Divine Mother for our ascension. So it's a place where you can be supported and to return to your true essence, and where you are seen, honored, and supported to embody that sacred woman within you. So this is the experience is a little bit like Facebook, but when you're actually interfacing on the platform, and you could do it on any of device, right? Um, but inside the temple, there's a lot of things that you also have access to. One is that we have at least two gatherings a month. Most month we have two live gatherings. We do ceremony, I channel, we do Q&A, we have sisterhood connections, we do grid work, sometimes virtual grid work. We've done a couple of those. It really depends. I'm guided what to bring the theme through. And then we have sharing time. So, unlike this experience where we have many sisters here, we won't have time for sharing. In that container, there's a lot more time for other sisters. Someone might have an issue. They're bringing something. They're like, I don't know, or this is going on for me, or I've been going through this. And other sisters can share wisdom. And we do it based on the principles of no unasked for advice and no judgment. So it's not about judging people or saying, oh, you should do this. It's more about holding space for each other, reflecting deeply, and then if guidance is requested or feedback is requested, sharing that. Because there are some sisters here on this call now who have been with me from the beginning. They're the founding mothers with me on this, who have tremendous wisdom. They have been walking this incarnation and many others a long time. And so the live gatherings are kind of the key feature, but there is a lot more. There are now 3 foundational priestess training courses within the Priestess Sanctuary from beginner. So if you're new to this and you're like, oh, I love this priestess stuff, but I don't know what it is, well, we've got that for you. Or if you want to learn ceremony, learn how to be a ceremonial facilitator, that course is in there, as well as internal alchemical practices for daily clarifying your energy field. Also, more and more of this heart stuff is going to be coming in, more of these heart activation practices, because this is now the leading edge ascension trajectory stuff. There's a lot more I could have shared with you. Those of you who came to Divine Mother Codes, there's more about the toroidal field and all of that. So we're going to be doing more of those kinds of activations. There's also full access to all 4 of the Return of the Priestess Speaker Series. So that's more than 90 interviews. You also get monthly meditations and mantras. So this month's meditation is going to be a Heart Stargate meditation, but every month. So after 4 years, imagine how many meditations are in there. Well, you can do the math, 12 times 4. We also are starting a book club, and one of the founding mothers in the community is going to be facilitating that. Adelina will be facilitating that. And the first book is Sophia Codes. We don't know what the other ones are yet. I think that will be something you all get to decide together. There's also a big private sisterhood forum with many topics to choose from, and more than 200 past recordings, workshops, channel transmissions, etc. There's just a lot. And then those who are in the community get special member pricing for courses that I offer. So that's what I'm really excited about. Lori and I have been working behind the scenes to get this ready for you. And Lisa, my tech and designer person, if you click on the link, you'll see the beautiful page she created for this. And then I also wanted to, only for those of you here on this live call, or if you listen to the recording in the next 24 hours, I've just put the link in again. Or no, not 24 hours, by midnight Sunday. So we're at 3 p.m. my time on Friday. So by midnight Sunday, you can also take advantage of a complimentary session with me. So we'll have an oracle session where we will get together And I'll, if you book between now and Sunday, anyone who books between now and Sunday or registers to be part of this sanctuary will, I'll be sending out a email link to you with a link to book a time with me. I've got cards, I've got channeling, and we'll just see, where are you at right now? How can I serve you with the tools that I have? And it gives you kind of like a little bit more of a one-on-one, definitely a one-on-one, but like a kind of a get going into the community as well. Okay, so let's see. After Sunday night, that particular bonus will go away. So that's that's what I wanted to share. I also just want to give you a quick heads up. I don't have a link or anything. I'm going to put this link in one more time. So again, it's the Priestess Sanctuary. It says dash the return to the priestess right now because we can't change the URL yet. That's a techie problem hurdle we have not yet crossed. So, but the other thing I'm just going to put in here quickly is that I'm building a new, pretty comprehensive priestess training course that's going to bring together the best of my years, 40 years 41 years now as a priestess, with my ongoing, very consistent training in ascension guide, being an ascension guide in service, and my deep connection with Gaia, with channeling, etc. And this training is not going to start until mid-January. But for those who are in the community, as I said, they're going to get a special price that is ultimately 50% off of what that course will be once it gets rolling. So it's I don't want to say a lot more about it, but it is a very it's going to really take all of my love and juice. And basically, after this call today, all of my devotion now goes into that. So just a heads up on that. Okay. So that's I thank you. Thank you for the time receiving that. And I want to invite us all. We still have more about the energies coming up the next couple of years. So let's everyone again just take a breath. If you want to click on that link so you have the page open, you can look at it after our call. Thank you, Gina. Thank you, Sherilyn. Glad you're here. Okay. And oh, I did want to ask too, if any of the sisters who are in the community feel to share something about your experiencing, um, I would really appreciate it. It would be wonderful. Um, I know there's a bunch of you here who are that, or not a bunch, there's a few, there's a handful of you here who are in the community. So if you have any words to share with your sisters of your experience, please, you're welcome to do that. Okay, so 2026, 27, more acceleration. I know, as if it couldn't get more crazy. Astrologically, so this is the one astrological piece. I'm not going to go into, as I say, I'm not going to go into Astro Geek speak. You can check out some of the amazing astrologers online. I highly recommend Pam Gregory and Molly McCord. Sometimes I talk more deeply about astrology in the community, in the sanctuary, but the main thing that I want to point out here is that all of the outer planets, those slow moving planets that have to do with big societal and soul deep transformation. So we're talking Chiron, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. All of those planets had been in either earth or water signs. Now, a few of them are toggling back for a little short spell, but they are all moving into air and fire signs. So, what does that mean? Well, earth and water signs are feminine in nature and they tend to be more slow, more yin, more receptive. Air and fire signs are fast moving transformation. And think about it. What does air do to fire? It makes more fire. So now more than ever, we're not going to have the time to plod along. Remember, I talked about choices and stuff, right? We are on an accelerated journey of ascension. And for those of us who are making the choice, I am going to align with the absolute highest frequency I can in order to have my own best experience, grow my soul to the most I can, be a light in challenging times so I can be the steady anchor for family, loved ones, friends, society in general. Now more than ever, we have to be consciously aware of our choices, be in devotion, and I would say for sure having support of sisters and or brothers who are also on this journey. So we feel side by side, we feel that support because we may have those moments where we fall down. uh, I can't say that if you had a rough year this year, it's going to get better next year. It could. The more you lean into your clearing your stuff, the better it's going to get. But it can be very challenging. And we really want to have those allies with us in those times, whoever they are. It could be a spouse, it could be a best friend, a spiritual community of any kind. So, but the thing to keep in heart here is if our flow is passive entertainment, I'm sorry, excuse me, if our flow is passive entertainment, looking at whatever is trending in the lower frequencies, following the flock, it doesn't bode well. Now, of course, those of us here know that, but there's, like I said, we're going to have less fudge room because the energies are fast. So that means fast up leveling as well as fast transformation, fast, oh, one child. Oh boy, that was wow. I just did this big clearing and I just feel so much better. I just did all this work. Oh, here comes the next one. Or it could be someone else that you're holding that space for. So the good will get better and the bad will get worse, which means that we are really going to be those pillars in places of challenge, depending on where you live, depending on if you work, who you work with, all of that stuff, your family circumstances, families, systems, all of that stuff is now in the field of all that light, all that plasmic light. And those who are holding a lot of low frequency are getting extremely dysregulated. And the play of polarization, divide and conquer, is still at play. So we want to phase lock more and more into our respective trajectories. And phase lock isn't just one thing like I locked in here and I'm stuck. It's kind of like a stepping stone process. So where we were phase locked in 2025, if we continue to elevate, practice, come to ceremonies like this, if this is what you're able to do, or whatever it is you can do, join my community or some other place where you're gaining, you're surrounded and you're collaborating, where two or more are gathered in my name, there shall I be, the divine, right? The more you can do that, the more you can uplift and phase lock into the next level and the next level. So it's a need to choose consciously and then with devotion and discipline to focus on new earth, because that's what this is all about. Is Gaia is ascending and we're going with her whether we like it or not. Now, how that whole change of, the people who are living in lower timelines and all that stuff, I don't fully know. There are a lot of theories out there, but and when and how exactly it's going to look, we don't know. But we who have come to be in service, we are making a frequential difference, if you will. The more we phase lock into higher frequency, the more we smooth the bumps for the collective, the more we um, move our own soul's needle, the soul growth needle, and the more we literally support all of it, including Gaia. That's another thing I'm going to be sharing a lot more of in the Priestess Sanctuary this coming year is how to work with stargates and plasma and the light flows and the Gaia realms, the Gaia frequencies. So that's all of this is really important. And then also with the speed up or the continuing of speeding is this integration of new energy faster. So again, a little like I was acting it out before, like, oh wow, I just cleared this whole thing. Wow, let me rest and integrate. Let me take 6 months to integrate. No, How about a couple weeks? It's coming in, it's coming in. And this doesn't mean it has to be bad. It doesn't, oh, it's 3:33 over here. What it means is that we have the chops for it if we lean in and keep choosing and focusing. And will we sometimes fall down? Yes, we will, but it's okay because as long as your heart is in the right place and you know that, hey, I got 2 years here to really lean in. After 2 years, there's going to be some energetic shifts. Some of the big challenges, the overwhelm, the divide and conquer, some of that stuff is going to start to really lose steam. In the third 3D, the world as we know it, but also just within our own fields. So if we keep clearing it out, some of the things that might still hook us, like those little hangers on energetically or those old patterns, they're going to just be like, they're just, we work on them now, these next 2 years. We keep devoting ourselves to love. And we're going to find it's like a surfer who caught that amazing wave, who caught that tube wave and is just riding it to shore. So these 2 years, I'm not a surfer, so if anyone's a surfer, you can correct my analogy if I'm wrong. We're kind of paddling out there to catch that wave, to catch it just right in these 2 years. Again, not as much fudge room to let our focus wander into negitude, sorting for negativity, looking for the next thing to worry about, or being a crap magnet by complaining all the time. The more we lean into our highest intention through the heart, not by asking for external, help or looking outside for the danger, through the heart. Heart, what is my greatest path now? The more we do that, the more we rise. The more we lift each other, the more we rise. This is a collective effort, yet each will have her own challenges of clearing distortions and answering the call of soul. It is the ideal time for conscious community and sisterhood that lifts as we rise. So keep that in heart in these years when you have moments of doubt or fear or falling down or, oh my goddess, when is this going to end? We've got about 2 years of the intensity of it. We've got this. It is already accomplished, a fait accompli. And now we walk through it with our highest light, our greatest devotion, and access from the heart. So that's what I have to share. Whoopsie, I just clicked a button. Okay. Betty says, beautiful meditation, Dawn. Thank you, Betty. I'm really glad to hear that served you. Sharon says, felt a big round luminous like a drum with all of us. Oh, lovely, Sharon. Beautiful. Thank you. Okay. All right. Jamie Lee says, so lovely. Here we are all uprising together. That's right. That's right. Okay. So I just want to end with a little closing prayer. So let's just tune in again to all that we've received in this time together, taking in all of the learning, all of the expansion, all of the gifts, all of the blessings of being in sisterhood together. Many of us have journeyed through incarnations of witch burnings and separation and deep divide, deep trauma in the sisterhood, but now that time is past. Now we get to come together safely. We get to lift and rise and expand together. So really let yourself receive the love of your sisters now, here in this field now, and for those who will join us in the replay. Opening that heart again, expanding your field to 12 feet in all directions. Allow yourself to be big, to be bright, to be bold, to be sparkly. Allow your crystalline DNA, your etheric DNA, to come online now, to awaken and remind you of who you truly are, the greatness of your beingness, your divinity. Feel that, know that. Touch it every day. You came for these times. You would not be here if you weren't prepared. Many masters guide our way, and all of it connects in through the heart. May you be well, dear sisters. May you be blessed. May you feel the grace of Divine Mother, Mother, Father, God in your heart. Merry meet and merry part and merry meet again. Thank you, thank you. Mwah. Much love. Thank you. I hope to see some of you very soon. Blessed be.